Almohad state. At the beginning of the 12th century, the religious reformer and political revolutionary, Mahdi ibn Tumart, grew in Morocco. He settled in the village of Tanmil in the high Atlas Mountains, southeast of Marrakesh. He organized Masmuda tribes around him with the aim of overthrowing the Almoravid state, which he considered deviant from the correct doctrine of Islam, and called his followers Almohads. The Almohads, led by Abd al-Mumin ibn Ali, had taken control of the entire Far Maghreb by 1147. He also managed to extend his influence over all of North Africa and Andalusia, establishing the largest empire in the Western Mediterranean since the Roman Empire. For the Marinid state. The Marinids appeared on the eastern borders of Morocco, and were able to form a military and political force that enabled them to overthrow the Almohad state in 1269 AD. The Marinids ruled Morocco for 2 centuries, during which they could not preserve the great legacy left by the Almohads. This eventually forced them to turn their attention to the territorial borders of the Far Maghreb. The end of their reign would be marked by the division of Morocco into 2 kingdoms, the Kingdom of Fez and the Kingdom of Marrakesh, in addition to the fall of a group of cities to the Iberian occupier, Ceuta 1415 AD, Qasr Segur 1458, Asila and Tangier 1471 and Melilla 1497. Saadian state. The Saadian honorable movement started from southern Morocco, specifically from the regions of Dra. It took the form of jihadist resistance against the Iberian occupier of coastal cities. However, the Saadians are becoming a military and political force that has managed to assert itself in the absence of a strong central authority capable of uniting the country and staving off the occupier. The emergence of the Saadian state was aided by a series of successive victories that culminated in their entry into Marrakesh in 1525 AD and Fez in 1554 AD. This marked the establishment of the rule of the Saadian state in Morocco. The resounding victory of the Saadians over Portugal in the Battle of Wadi al-Maqsim, Battle of the Three Kings, in 1578 had a great impact on Morocco, restoring Morocco's prestige in its geostrategic surroundings, and enabling it to benefit economically, especially in its relationship with Africa. The death of al-Mansur al-Dhahabi in 1603 marked the defeat of the Saadian state due to the struggle for power between the various pretenders to the throne. For the Alawite state. The political conflict left over by the Saadians would last 60 years, during which the Far Maghreb was divided into regional political entities of a religious nature, such as the Emirate of Tazarolt and Sousse. Thus, starting in 1664, Sharif Moulay Rashid appeared in Tafilalat and embarked on a military campaign aimed at uniting the country from fragmentation and establishing a strong central authority, and Maula Rashid extended his power, thus establishing the state of the Alawites. His successor, Sultan Moulay Ismail, had the role of consolidating the authority of the nascent state and imposing its prestige. The reign of Sultan Maula Ismail lasted 50 years, during which he was able to build a political system for the state. The Alawite sultans took power in defiance of multiple internal and external crises, most notably the imposition of the French protectorate on Morocco in 1912. Thanks to the sacrifices of the throne and the people, Morocco regained its independence in 1956, announcing the birth of a new era in Morocco. The March of Independence with Muhammad V. On November 18, 1927, King Muhammad V ascended the throne at the age of 18, during which time Morocco fought the decisive battle for independence. On January 11, 1944, the document demanding Morocco's independence, territorial integrity and national sovereignty was submitted. On April 9, 1947, Muhammad V visited Tangier where he delivered a historic speech that revived the spirit of patriotism and resistance against foreign occupation. On August 20, 1953, the hero of liberation, Muhammad V, and the royal family were exiled to Madagascar, and what is known as the Revolution of the King and the People broke out in Morocco. On November 16, 1955, the late Muhammad V and the royal family returned from exile. On March 2, 1956, the French government recognized the independence of the Kingdom of Morocco in the joint declaration signed between Muhammad V and the French government, and on April 7, 1956, agreements were signed with Spain under which Morocco recovered its lands in the north, and on the 22nd day of the same month Morocco joined the United Nations, and in 1958 Morocco recovered the territory of Tarfaya from Spanish occupation and cancelled the law under which the city of Tangier was internationalized. On February 26, 1961, the late liberation hero Muhammad V died. For Hassan II and the continuation of the march. Hassan II ascended to the throne as King of Morocco on March 3, 1961, and in December 1962 the first constitution making Morocco a constitutional monarchy was ratified by referendum, and in 1969 the Spanish colonial presence was ended and Sidi Ifni returned to the homeland. On November 6, 1975, the Green March was launched with 350,000 volunteers who crossed the imaginary border and entered the Moroccan Sahara. On November 14, 1975, the Treaty of Madrid was signed, under which Morocco recovered its Saharan territories, and on January 23, 1987, Hassan II proposed to King Juan Carlos I of Spain to establish a think tank to look into the issue of Ceuta, Melilla, the Joffrey Islands, the islands of Badis, Ngor, and Molauja, which are still under the yoke of Spanish colonialism. On February 17, 1989, the founding treaty of the Arab Maghreb Union was signed in Marrakesh. King Hassan II also chaired the Al-Quds Al-Sharif Committee since the 10th Conference of Foreign Ministers of the Organization of the Islamic Conference in Fez in Jumada II 1399 March 1979 until his death in 1999. King Mohammed VI was chosen as the head of the committee. In 1992, King Hassan chaired the summit meetings of the Organization of the Islamic Conference held in Casablanca, and participated in the Peacemakers Summit in Sharm el-Sheikh, Egypt. On July 23, 1999, King Hassan II died after working to unify his country, support its independence, and made great efforts for Islamic, Arab and African reunification. On the same day, King Mohammed bin al-Hassan, Mohammed VI, received the Pledge of Allegiance in the Throne Hall of the Royal Palace in Rabat. The source of the information is from an article published by the Moroccan Ministry of Communication.